Yes, I am Sean Connery. Please enjoy this review of my motion picture, The Man Who Would Be King. Enjoy.
There is no place on earth too forbidding. There is no adventure too dangerous to dare. There is no dream of wealth and glory too impossible for the man who would be king. Connery and Caine. Rogue and renegade. Reckless and fearless soldiers of fortune on the richest adventure of their life. Across 1,000 miles of danger, come with Sean Connery and Michael Caine as they try to capture a whole country, a scheme for rascals to become royalty in the long-lost land of Alexander the Great. Rudyard Kipling's The Man Who Would Be King. They share the treasure. They share the danger. They share the adventure. Sean Connery, Michael Caine, and Christopher Plummer in John Huston's The Man Who Would Be King.
Welcome back to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest. I'm your host, Chris Compton. Joining me today are our reoccurring guests, Cole and Taylor, my theater buddies. We are reviewing The Man Who Would Be King from 1975. Two British former soldiers decide to set themselves up as kings in Kafiristan? Kafiristan. It is a made-up place, I think. A land where no white man has set foot since Alexander the Great. So we've got top billed stars Sean Connery, Michael Caine, Christopher Plummer, all Oscar winners. Directed by John Huston and written by John Huston. He's been in Hollywood since 1941. This guy, John, directed The Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart in 1941. This movie has a runtime of 2 hours and 9 minutes. Rating from IMDb is a 7.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 97% from the critics and 91% from the rest of us. I don't know how much money this made because it's old enough that Box Office Mojo doesn't care, I guess. And right now, you can't stream this anywhere other than, for free. You have to rent it, on any of the renting streaming services. It's about $2.99. So here's some popcorn trivia for you. Nominated for 4 Oscars, including Best Writing, Best Screenplay. John Huston tried to launch the movie version The Man Who Would Be King many times before completing it. It was originally conceived as a vehicle for Clark Gable and Humphrey Bogart in the 50s. Then Bogart died before the movie could be made, and while Huston was considering who could replace Bogart, Gable also passed away, which is crazy. Let's see. He later reimagined it as a vehicle for Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas, and later for Richard Burton and Peter O'Toole. When it was considered as a vehicle for Robert Redford and Paul Newman, Newman suggested Sean Connery and Sir Michael Caine. This is Sean Connery's favorite movie role, according to some interviews. Sir Sean Connery and Sir Michael Caine later sued Allied artists for what they felt was improper percentage profit share. So this movie must have done pretty good if they were mad that they didn't get paid enough. It says they were reportedly awarded $250,000 each for their lawsuit. Sir Michael Caine and Sir Sean Connery were disgusted by the treatment of Saeed Jaffrey during filming, one of the co-stars. He didn't even have a chair to sit on between takes on location. Finally, Caine had enough and shouted to the crew, "Get this man a chair." So when Michael Caine appeared on Inside the Actor's Studio in 1994 and was asked about working with John Huston, he recalled that a few weeks into shooting, both he and Sean Connery were worried and concerned at the lack of direction and feedback that they were getting from Huston. Caine approached Huston and asked if anything was wrong and if he was happy with their performances. Huston replied, "You're getting paid a lot of money to do this, Michael. I think you should do it by yourself." Guess what, bro? Go ahead and do the acting. That's why I paid you. I like that response. Albert Whitlock completed the matte painting of the fortress in the movie in only 6 hours, which is insane. There's a shot in the movie of this incredible fortress, and apparently it's a matte painting, and this guy had to do it in 6 hours. Another one is the scene where Danny meets Roxanne was shot at the Kasbah of Ait Benedou, just north of the southern Moroccan city of... Oh, man, this is horrible. Khorazazit. The site was also used in Gladiator in 2000 as the North African arena where Maximus first fights his opponents. Khorazazit is known as the Moroccans' Hollywood since many international productions such as Kingdom of Heaven in 2005 and The Hills Have Eyes 2006. And then the darkness comes. That was shot also in this area. So on the square and on the level are Masonic terms. In addition, Widow's Son and Fellow Craft are too. When Carnahan shakes the hand of Kipling when saying goodbye, he uses the Masonic grip. Information about this grip is secret, yet it's in the film, so something to keep an eye peeled when you're watching this movie.
Kafiristan.
Welcome back to another episode of the Popcorn Priest. We have just screened, it was Taylor's pick, The Man Who Would Be King, 1975, classified as an adventure film.
Darn right.
Starring Sean Connery, Michael Caine, directed by John Huston. Sean Connery and Michael Caine star in the story about two British adventurers who take over primitive Kafiristan as rulers, meeting a tragic end through their desire for a native girl.
Why would they say that? It's not even right. Like, it's kind of right, but not really.
And it's kind of a spoilery.
Yeah.
John Huston.
I mean, you kind of know it because it's like...
Huston, not Houston.
Because you know things didn't work out because of the way the movie opens, but...
Yeah. Runtime 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Not rated.
Not rated.
But if it were rated, it'd be rated awesome.
There is some...
there's a fair amount of violence.
There's some violence towards the natives.
There's some nudity, some Sean Connery backside.
There is. We do see Sean Connery's backside. And we see a partial buttock of
Which
a
for
woman.
the 70s would probably still be PG.
Yeah.
I'd still say the movie as a whole would probably be PG.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, given that Airplane had boobs and it was rated PG back in the day.
That was pre-Temple of Doom.
Yep.
Well, it took me about 45 minutes, partly because of our internet issues, but after about 45 minutes, I was really liking this film.
I think this movie is awesome. It's a style of film you don't really see anymore. Like
kind of like the Treasure of Sierra Madre, or the bridge over the River Kwai.
Yeah. It's similar to that. It's kind of like this old timey like adventure,
just old school swashbuckling, basically.
Yeah, like it's got a sense of humor about it too. That's like a lot of fun. It's like Indiana Jones, whereas like Indiana Jones was like playing up movies like this and kind of like a comic book, like pulpy.
Yeah,
this is kind of like that vein, but it's not. It's like I don't know what the word is. It's like as aware of itself as those Indiana Jones movies kind of are.
Yeah, this was
kind of like the civilized pulling a prank on the natives, basically.
Yeah, it's essentially it's an example of why the Prime Directive exists in Star Trek. Almost exactly. Like that's like the whole point of the movie. It's like, yeah, don't do what these people did,
or you will have.
You can only
If
Try and
you
change their
manipulate
customs.
natives for financial gain, you're gonna have a bad time.
Well, what starts out as financial gain soon turns into, I guess, a quest for
Quest for power
power and glory, which
and women.
becomes the undoing.
First you get the power, and you get the women,
Then you get the sugar.
then you get the sugar.
I thought it was money,
I think it goes money, power, women.
then women.
Yeah.
Or money, women, then power, or...
Well,
I think
it's the
you get
trifecta.
money. I think you get money, and that gives you power, and then that power lets you
Get whatever you want.
obtain women.
And in this case, Sean Connery got a bite to the face.
Yeah, he tried to obtain. A woman, and it did not.
Sorry,
It did
spoiler alert.
You're venturing too close to the
Hey, you're just
cliff
giving
there.
away the whole movie.
This
Yeah.
was out in 1975.
Yeah, but I hadn't heard about it.
Neither have I. I had no idea.
And it's awesome, so I'm like kind of upset that I hadn't.
I keep finding out about all these strange movies John Huston's done, like the scenes from A Golden Eye, and then this one, and then I can't remember what the one was. The last one they did with the last one Marilyn Monroe did before he died. I can't think of what it was called. The Wild Ones, the Wild Bunch.
Wild Bunch? It's a Western.
Yeah, well, it's like
It's directed by Peckinpah.
No,
This
it's not.
was
It's
intense, man. This
Any-
was crazy.
yeah. Anyways, I'm thinking of the wrong show. I can't think of the name of the. Towards the end there, but I know first half, be it internet problems or just kind of the slow pacing, it takes a while to kind of get going once you kind of figure out.
Yeah, it
Once
does.
they establish kind of what their
It
intent
does
is.
take a while for them to actually start doing, is saying what they wanted to do, and then for them to actually do it. I guess there's
Yeah.
a fair amount of time from the beginning of the movie to that actually happening.
But there's enough kind of like just sly, like literally dry British wit to kind of that makes you chuckle
Yeah,
along the way.
Michael
Kind of keep you
Caine.
entertained.
Michael Caine and Sean Connery are both really great in this. There's there's a
It's kind of sad Christopher Plummer isn't utilized more rather than just kind of standing there, just
He's
sitting there,
kinda
just
like-
being wide-eyed, listening to Michael Caine's tale
He's
about
a-
everything that happened.
he's the little boy from The Princess Bride in this movie.
Yeah, essentially.
He's the historian. He's the one who made it out.
Or he's that one guy in that
He's-
John Carter movie.
He's essentially the audience, as the story is told.
He's Edgar Rice Burroughs in that John Carter movie.
Oh, man. I liked John Carter.
They actually
was a
show Edgar
flop
Rice in
movie.
that.
Huh?
Edgar Rice is supposed to be in the movie.
You saw it. He
I
was in
know.
it.
I don't remember.
He's the one who finds the their journal and is reading it, and then he goes out into his backyard and opens up the thing, the tomb, and John Carter's alive. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that movie's kind of a blur, but that happens in it
Oh no, I don't remember that portion. I was like, what?
because that's how he gets back to Mars.
There's supposed to be 2 more films.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Because remember how he gets trapped on Earth at don't worry about it.
well, that's all I remember.
They're not making any more
That's
of
all
those.
I remember. That's what I remember was he was trapped on Earth and she was like longing for him. They're trying to get back to each other, but I don't remember past that point.
And that was what was what Edgar Rice Burroughs facilitated after reading through the thing is he unlocks this puzzle on this crypt.
But after 10,000 movies, they all blend together for me. I can't remember
It's
every
true.
single one.
It's true. It's really easy to forget how movies go, especially movies that didn't do well.
Yeah, this had a lot of... It felt like Lawrence of Arabia. It felt like... You were talking about Zulu.
Yeah, Zulu, which is another British Empire adventure, but that one's more of a military.
That one's more just conquering the enemy for the sake of the territory.
It's more the other way around. I mean, it's the Zulus were trying to drive them out, and they were undermanned.
Sorry, I got it backwards. I know you're right.
It was more just conquest.
It's like the white man's last stand.
Actually, how I found out about that movie is that was what Peter Jackson was going for with the Helm's Deep. That was the structure he wanted. Is this preparation of this defense using when you're outnumbered.
Interesting.
And that's essentially what that movie is, but it's more serious because it's actual Zulus are in that movie. In Africa, they filmed that in South Africa, or the the very least, with descendants of people who had actually been there.
Well, according to Amazon, this out of 664 reviewers, it's got 4.5 stars.
It is awesome. I would recommend it.
It was given 4 stars by Roger Ebert.
It has like an old golden age feel to it. It's hard to pinpoint like what it is. Like it's just super watchable.
It's kind of it's just the two characters because it doesn't focus too much on one thing. So once you get past the setup, then you're just then you become intrigued as to what the payoff is going to be. Like if they're going to continue with their ruse or how they're going to be exposed. Or,
it is interesting that like you kind of root for them, even though what they're doing is pretty despicable.
I didn't understand the contract that they had. Was it just for funsies? Like, why did they have to sign it? And
I don't know. I think it's really just to have Rudyard Kipling be more involved and have like an understanding about what they were meant to do.
I think that's true. I think it's just more.
It's more, yeah. Just
like if he would have the rights to tell the story, like he would be the one to let everyone know what happened.
It's like a reason why that guy would come back and talk to him about it. I think so. It's like maybe contrived. Again, it's based on a book, so maybe it makes more sense there.
It's just kind of the MacGuffin.
Maybe it's like that they knew that they would come back with money, and they wanted to like have it in writing that they would share it equally. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know how the contracts work.
That part was interesting that they decided to write up a contract amongst themselves. But anyway, yeah, I definitely give it a medium. Bucket, which is a 4 out of 5 stars for me, for sure.
1,000 stars, million stars, all of the stars. I liked it.
I give it 3.5 out of 4.
I don't know if Taylor ever gives
It's not true.
Mediocre
did
star.
not like that last movie.
No. I'm saying like you never give a
middling.
No, Macbeth stumped us all enough that we weren't even sure how to rate that movie.
That was the only movie that I think we all were sitting there not saying anything.
No, Macbeth, but then the other one, High Rise.
Yeah, High Rise was another like confounding movie.
Yeah, I tend to pick the ones that you have real noodle scratchers.
It's like just imagine like
there's art house, but then there's way out there.
The expression of just confusion, and that was me watching all of High Rise. Just kind of
that was a trip.
It's kind of like what's going on? Can they not leave the tower?
It tries to keep your attention, but it's so confusing. You're just like, huh?
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, it was a nutty movie, but anyway, so you gave it, Cole, you gave it
3.5 out of 4.
3.5 out of 4.
It took a while to get going, but then afterwards, it held my attention pretty good.
I feel like we have like tainted the sample because this movie did not start.
If it wasn't for the 2 leads, I mean, it could have gone down the crapper real fast. But both of them are charismatic enough; it holds your attention. They do a good job.
Yeah, I agree. If they were not cast, the movie would have been a flop.
It would have been something for TV.
Yeah, it's a character movie more than it is a lot of things. Because they are going to like these exotic locales and like fighting battles, but that's like really not the focus.
Yeah, well, there you have it, ladies and germs. Another one in the books. We'll see you next time. Popcorn Priest is signing off. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Should or shouldn't you watch this? I'll give you 5 reasons why you should watch this. You like sweeping old Hollywood movies? Seems like this one was one of the last of its kind. Number 2, you're a fan of Sean Connery. Or number 3, you're a fan of Sean Connery's backside, because he exposes his backside. Number 4, you like the spirit of adventure? The quote of this movie on the poster is "Long live adventure and long live adventurers." There's your spirit of adventure. And number 5, last but not least, you have a burning desire to see the Hollywood adaptation of Rudyard Kipling's book. As always, hit me up on the Twitters if you want to interact with the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I respond to every tweet. Hit me up if you want me to review something. I'll put it on the list and we'll chat about it. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.